Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel. Now is a craft that you may not be familiar with. Let's hear from New London's Scott Biron about preserving this old craft. Hi, Scott.
Yes, so it was kind of interesting. I got the Boston University Alumni Association reached out to me, as I'm an alumnus from Boston University, and they scan different people out there to see what is interesting to their readership. And so they reached out to me and asked me if they could come up and do something on the fly tying end of things. And they spent a couple of days up here doing a video, and then they wrote an article for the alumni magazine Bostonian, and it was really great. They were really excited because it was something that they don't normally do. The cameraman and the editor of the magazine and whatnot, and it turned out to be really interesting for me. It was a good experience to go through and tell the story and whatnot. My grandfather had a camp way up north on the Androscoggin River. When I was younger, I learned how to fish up there. They had a fly tying box, and in the little box was a small vise with some feathers. And that was my first introduction to fly tying. I tied throughout my career, and as I really got to know I was going to retire, I started to really focus on making this a little bit more than just a casual hobby. And so I applied for the New Hampshire Traditional Arts Grant, part of the National Endowment for Arts in the United States, and then I became a master artist. Today, the craft is going away because a lot of flies are tied overseas by machines and different things like that. But there's a lot of history in this. It's really cool. It's the secret society. There are patterns no one wanted to share. And unfortunately, for that reason, a lot of that history has gone to the grave with great fly tyers and never wrote anything down. And so I think it's something that warrants that time and effort to preserve it. There's just a wealth of different fly patterns. The streamers that I really like to tie imitate smelt. And smelt is a bait fish that salmon, brook trout, and different big species from the trout family live on. And so it's a combination of feathers and materials. Some are synthetic, some are natural materials. So we use hen, marabou, rooster feathers, golden pheasant, and then we use jungle cock, a bird that's bred specifically for the little eyes that it has as feathers. There's an old adage that says, you catch fishermen by the way it looks dry, but you catch fish by the way it looks wet. And when they're wet, they're a lot smaller looking. They look much more like a bait fish. And so it's the pattern, the light, the water, all that together. That's what makes the fly. There are so many of these historic fly tyers, and a lot of this history was passed down word of mouth. So I've tried to go back and recreate their patterns and really educate people about it before no one remembers any of it. I feel like I've put that on my shoulder, and I enjoy it, every minute of it. Yes, you can always find out more information about fly tying in the area by going to my website, www.nhflytyer.com. And usually everything happens in the late fall and through the winter because the rest of the time we're fishing.
Thanks, Scott, for your efforts to preserve this old-time craft. When we return, we'll have the first in a series about pre-planning a funeral with Marion Hafner. But first, let's pre-plan our future with one of the underwriters that makes Yankee Chronicle possible.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, Motor Fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating.